Dom de Monco. Dom de Monco.
Make it sweat, honey peanut butter, candlelight, a bottle of the best. Sexy like Kardashian, I bet we make a video. Chocolate strawberries have a body tingle head to toe. Baby, be my number one, treat her like the dancer. Shiny as a VVS, Gucci Prada. Welcome to another episode of No Cap Reacts. I'm your man Bailey, aka Mr. Go Get 'em, and we are back in the building with another episode of Friday Night Live. And I have a special guest in the building. Make sure you start tuning in every Friday, Sunday through, well, actually every Sunday through Friday pretty much, because the only days I'm about to start taking off is Sundays. We about to be here right here, No Cap Reacts. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube, Kick, Twitch, Twitter, X, Facebook. Everything is under No Cap Reacts. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my special guest tonight. Let them know who you are.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Juan Sewell, founder of Sewell Point, from Chicago, Illinois, South Side, all through the whole Chicago. You put it like that.
Tonight, we got Killer City in the building. Chirac.
Straight from the rack.
All right, so for those of you that don't know, he was actually here just for less than, 36 hours ago. We did an interview with a young lady, and she had her own special guest, the special person in her life. And I guess they're both on their own journeys, but at the same time, they're doing the exact same journey, which is to help build and rebuild the community and take it to the next level. So tonight, we're going to learn the other half of the other half before we get to full circle, where at some point we have them both on together to really get it. So, first and foremost, if people want to find you, where can they find you at?
They can find me at sewellpoint.org, or if they want to find me on Instagram, they can find me at magnificent_Juan_the God.
All right. First chat come through from Jack Stevens. Says, Mr. Go Get 'em, please save some women for the rest of us. What the hell are you talking about? That's my son's best friend. Ain't it past your bedtime? All right. So, from Chicago, born and raised?
Yes, born and raised.
All right. Well, we're going to start at the beginning. What was it like growing up in the wild, wild Midwest streets of Chicago, Illinois?
Man, it was crazy. During the time I was coming up in the era, you had, where I lived at was Mickey Cobra's, 56 and Normal, which is known as Lamron. A lot of people heard about it now through Lil Durk. Man, they was killing us shorties for starter jackets and Jordans, troop jackets, snake skins, starter hats. So it was really rough. A starving belly don't have no ears.
All right. So, in knowing that, and we had a nice long conversation after the podcast the other night, but we're gonna act like none of that happened.
Absolutely.
All right. So, Chicago, Illinois, growing up, early '80s, going into the '90s. What was it like for you as a kid?
Man, it was tough. That was during the time. My mother, she went to Tilden High School. She was a model, but during that time, racism was real thick, and so as far as she made it was to the newspapers, and didn't go any further because of the color of her skin. My dad, he grew up as a Blackstone Ranger because he had to protect his family. They grew up down there in the projects. My uncles, which is his mother's brothers, they were Dale Vikings, and they grew up in the projects in the Robert Taylors. And after they had me, we were still living in Inglewood. So, they was doing the best that they can. Mother was in the service. She went away to active duty while my grandmother took care and raised me. My father was in the service. He was a Marine, went to the Marines. And then when they came home, I ended up moving back with them. And things were still kind of hard. So my father started back selling drugs again. And so I used to ask for all the hottest Nikes, the Karachis. Man, I couldn't even get them Karachis because he started doing Hirachi. The nickname Karachi.
Yeah.
So he went from selling it to using it. Then eventually he went to rehab because by him being a veteran, he was in a veterans hospital, and he was like, when they took me to go see him, I ain't really know what was going on. I just thought he was sick, and yeah, he was sick, but he wasn't this type of sick I thought.
Yeah, he was rehab sick.
Yeah. So went through that process. That was a long process, and then he got out. He was clean. He hadn't touched it no more. He was just smoking weed and drinking.
All right, so teenage years. I know 90s is when gang violence really started to pick up.
Yeah.
What was the Midwest like? What was Chicago like during the mid 90s going into the 2000s, where like you from Inglewood, Illinois, I'm from Inglewood, California.
Yeah.
Okay? But we were both literally going through the exact same thing in totally different places. So what was your Inglewood like?
Man, wow. Man, it was crazy. So during those teenage years, that's when I started wanting to, wanted to make money and get clothes because the kids used to make fun of me because I had XJ900s from Payless. And every time I got now what's crazy, every time my parents done brought me a new pair of XJ900s, I thought I could run faster.
Now, the crazy part is most kids today have no idea what Payless even is. That's the crazy part. Or Kmart.
Yeah, Ventures, Zayres. That's what man, I went from the Michael Jackson Thriller jacket from Zayres that was plastic to really I didn't even know we was poor at the time until in those mid-90s when the kids was making fun of me. I had a hole in the tip of my shoe where it would be talking every time I walk. Then that's when I started to go to the streets.
So when you say go to the streets, what part of the streets was you going? Because the streets is multifaceted, okay?
Yeah.
You're either the thief, you are the robber, you are the jacker, or you are the dealer.
So I was the multi-hustler. We was hitting the freight trains, in the freight
So
train.
you the robber.
It was a robber. Then I was doing security. I worked the graveyard shift.
Okay, so you also was a square.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would do security, watching out on the corner for the police, make sure they don't come while they's running, and I was getting paid $75 a night.
Okay, yeah, that was good money back then.
Yeah. Here comes the money. And it's crazy. I can't mention their name, but the same person that I was doing the security for actually is a co-star on the show The Shy. That's crazy. They came straight home from the joint and jumped on that show The Shy. For real. Living, but they got a book that they get ready to do and everything. So, but I say that for another day where I get him to come in and tell you how I used to do security for him and everything and how he actually raised me.
All right, so at some point in time, your life took a turn like my life took a turn where you ended up behind the bar. So
Yeah.
I did 4 years of prison myself. How long did you end up getting locked up for?
Man, I did all together. I did 15 on the first one. The second one, I took 10, did like 4.5.
Your ass did some real time.
Yeah. I went away, got locked up in 2000 and I got locked up in 2000, got out on bond, got locked back up in 01, 2001, and then from there I was locked up to 2014, got out June 3rd, 2014, then got locked back up again June 2nd, 2015, and got out August 19th of 2019.
Whew, I can't do it. I ain't gonna.
Man.
All right, now, here's the thing. People don't really understand that for some people, you can go in and for you, life doesn't change. You just come out, you just go back into the motion of exactly where you're at. Now, somehow, some way, by the good graces of God, I came out a different person and so did you.
Yes.
Okay? Now, you yourself are doing something that is not only bettering the community, but also helping other people that have walked through our situation get out of the situation to help better themselves moving forward. So tell us about that. Like, what was the defining moment where you said, okay, it's time to change?
That moment actually when I went back, but what really did it was when my mother passed while I was incarcerated from breast cancer. And so I have a sister that has Down syndrome, and I'm like, damn, I'm not even there to help them and be there for them. And what was crazy, my mother really needed me, but I couldn't really be there for her to help her. Had I been there, we could have went through this because they had told her about a procedure about removing her breast, but 9 times out of 10, by her being by herself, she probably was out of fear, not wanting to go under the knife, and then also worried about, who gonna look after my sister. So, she dealt with this. She was fighting a silent fight, which a lot of us do is either mentally or physically that we fight silent fights. So at that point, I was like, man, I can't do this. It's not even worth it. It don't make sense. I'm in there. I'm following all. I'm in compliance. You know what I mean? So I'm like, shit. If I can do that in here, I might as well. I can do that on the street. I don't even have to be here. That's when I wake up like, yeah, this don't make sense. I'm working for these people for 5 cents an hour, when I can be out in the real world, making $20 or $30 an hour. So that's when you realize like what makes sense and what don't, and when the common sense kick in, you like, nah, man, this ain't even worth my time, not at all. And then the way that the prisons is now, you don't want to be in there because a lot of the guys is on what we call Skittles, which is medication, because they can't handle it. So when you seeing that they talking about they off the perk and all that, those are prescription drugs, which they can get plenty of it in the prison. So it's not even like they in prison. They got the pills that had them sleeping all day. So that's why some of them come in and it's a revolving door to them, because they never get a chance to wake up out of that sleep that they in. They the last.
They comatose themselves.
Yeah, they comatose themselves.
So here's something that I think a lot of people don't really understand is when you are sitting there in prison, you have to maintain a job.
Yeah.
Because you have to do something. So I worked initially clothing issue, and I did that for about a year and a half at 70 cents an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Now you gotta be there first thing in the morning. And you work it like a regular job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. By the time my level dropped and I got to a 2-3 camp, I was then going outside of the prison, working for the state, literally at the state building, putting up cubicles for their call centers, etc. Mm-hmm. Now that's where I made like $1.30 an hour. What was your detail when you were in?
I was called what they was known as a porter. So I would wash the inmates' clothes on the deck that I'm on, and do the maintenance work around there, like sweep, mop the day room, make sure the windows clean, and back and forth in and out the laundry room, just switching the laundry, washing guys' clothes and things, because they not allowed to wash their own clothes.
And how much was they paying you?
Man, I was getting like 5 cents an hour. I was getting 5 cents an hour, man.
See, and that's the crazy part is you doing actual physical labor, manual labor for pennies.
For pennies.
Like we still in 1910.
You know what my state pay is? Most guys, now the joint, Illinois give you a $10 state pay every month, right? So my state pay on top of my $10 a month that I was getting, it came out to $30 a month.
That's crazy. Can't do it. And you supposed to live off of that. And they wonder why we be in there hustling our asses off.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So while you're in there, you basically say, okay, if I can do this in here, I can do this in the streets. But why would I break the law when I don't have to? Right?
Yeah.
In the meantime, in between time, whether you like it or not, see, here's the thing about the system. The system either turns you into something really bad, or it gives you that insight to go, all right, I'm going to make a change and do something different. Mm-hmm. But the entire time, what we all don't realize is, like in that situation, it's giving you work ethic. Yeah. It's taking, because in the streets, you're doing illegal hustles. Now you're doing a legal hustle. You realize you can do more outside than what you're doing inside without, having the problems of having to deal with the system.
Yes.
Okay. So at what point in time, like, what was the first thing that you did when you got out?
The first thing that I got out, and I got to step it back a little bit. While I was in there, I volunteered my own time to go to school to get my education so I can be better. So reading all these different books, right? I said, man, I'm gonna put these to use, because I'm like a kid when I was watching Samurai Sundays. I would practice on my cousins' karate moves, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna apply this knowledge that I got, because I believe that not knowledge is power. I believe that applied knowledge is power. And so when I got out, the first thing that I did was my family threw me a get together party. I came home and I really wasn't into the party scene or whatever, because I'm like, shit, I gotta get my stuff together. What woman gonna want a grown man that ain't got nothing? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not that type of man no way. So I can't be without. I don't want to be without. So right after that, spend time with family, and then the next day I was looking for a job. I was calling around people I knew, and then my cousin ended up getting me a job at New Life Covenant Church, and I worked that for like 3 years as I was building my own company as an entrepreneur, and I was still going to school when I got out.
What was the what made you decide to go work for a church?
You know what's crazy is it was nobody else would hire me at the time. They kept like it was jobs like the insurance job, all State Farm. They say, hey, you got to take this test, but it's gonna cost you $100, and if you fail, we'll let you retake it again. You got to pay another $100, and I didn't even have that type of money, to even do that. So I had to do, accept what I can get at the time. And then in my mind, I'm like, you know what? I didn't work for everybody else but God. Let me go, I'm working for God. Maybe things going, be different for me.
So the entire time you working for a church, you say you starting your business.
Yeah.
Is this your non-for-profit, or were you starting something different?
Actually, I started my non-for-profit and my entertainment business and management company. So the non-for-profit is called Sewell, which really started when I was 12. My mother helped me start it, showed me how to do the paperwork, and we had started Sewell, but at that time it was just sole proprietorship. And when I got out, I just, it was kind of easy for me to do that, and I knew where I wanted to go with it and what I wanted it to be, and switched it over to a nonprofit.
Okay.
And then I did Majestic Management because I had a lot of guys that wanted me to manage them because of the network that I have in the music industry at that time.
What would you say pushed you to want to be your own boss?
This what pushed me. Man, for the first 2 years working in that church under Pastor Hannon, I was good. I was peaceful. I had my paycheck every 2 weeks. Got my vehicle, was getting all the necessities that I need. And then one day, the same guy that was working with me as team leader number 2, they put him in a supervisor position. And this man, out of everybody, found some reason to try to push my buttons. I mean, the man, we had an app that when we go do the deliveries for the pantry to the disabled and the senior citizens that can't move around, my route got me going all the way to the west side, and I'm going up 30 flights of stairs carrying heavy boxes, not with just eggs in them, with canned goods and everything. The man told me, why you the only one that come back so late all the time? I say, well, just check the app. It lets you know how long it's going to take me to get there and get back. He say, well, no, if anybody can beat that app, you can. I said, man, what?
Beat the app?
Beat the app. The man said, if anybody can beat the app, you can. I said, man, who you think I am? I'm a regular human being like everybody else. I can't beat that app. I said, if that's the case, I wouldn't be working here. And at that point, I was like, you know what? Because I'm so passionate and dedicated and committed to whatever I put my hands on or whatever I do. And I was like, you know what? Instead of me punching a clock, to answer your question, instead of me punching a clock, being committed for other people, who don't appreciate me, I might as well punch the clock for myself.
I mean, that's the best way to live. All right. So, what's the first thing you do? Is it the management? Is it the non for profit? What's the first thing? What's the first business that you kick off?
The first business I kick off was Visionaire Entertainment Chicago.
And what is that? What does that business do?
So that business basically recruit artists, and I was doing a lot of party promotions, getting artists, giving them a platform where they can be seen. Because in Chicago, in Iraq, you got to go to the East Coast or the West Coast to get on a platform to get put on. So my whole vision was to, give them a platform where they didn't have to go to the East or the West Coast because they barely can make it downtown. So how they gonna make it to the East or the West Coast?
Exactly.
So that was one of the ones, and I ain't gonna lie, I kind of had the game fucked up because, excuse my language, because I came home trying to use my name with my peoples that had the connection to get me to these producers and get to these other artists, and they was producers themselves, and they respectfully told me, like, man, Juan, because that's what they call me, man, bro, we love you, mess with you, but this a business. He like, man, nobody gonna move on that, bro, unless you got some paper. You know what I'm saying? At least if you had half or some of it, you know what I'm saying, we can make something happen, because then, we can split those, do a split contract and, get the rest on the back end.
Yeah. So how lucrative was that for you initially?
Actually, it wasn't. It actually put me in the hole, in the red, because I went about it the wrong way. It wasn't what I thought it was or what I wanted it to be. It's a structure. You have overhead costs. Say studio time.
Yep.
Studio time, depending, especially if the artist, if this really they first time ever really going into the studio, laying stuff down, they very highly hyperactive and very happy, and that they actually doing something that they see on TV, and so they rarely getting the work done.
Yeah, they're not doing the work because they caught up in the moment.
They caught up in the moment. Yeah, and with them, they don't understand. They snatching beats off the internet, off the YouTube, and not understanding you're not gonna make no money. That's just gonna give you clout because you don't have clearance for the music.
You don't have the rights to it.
You don't have the right. You understand? So, and they was like, well, that's all I need. Their mindset is, all I need is that clout, and that's what's gonna get me on. Then I don't mind paying the producer, whoever was I took it from, hitting them with that.
You don't want to pay them after the fact. You want to pay them before they hit. Because if it actually do some numbers, well, guess what? His numbers gonna inflate.
Man.
So you could get a beat that may cost you $100 to a couple $100 that now is gonna be worth like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000.
Yeah.
Just because they see it doing numbers.
And then they have the misconception about a manager's job and what they do. And they think that everything is on the manager.
You got to pay for everything. You got to set up everything. You going to push them and they don't have to do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust me, it's backwards as hell. You don't even.
They didn't even know what an EPK was.
Yeah.
I had to do, like, I'm explaining it to them, and I was trying to be the big meech of the music industry, since he, how he was for the streets or whatever. I wanted to be the big meech of the industry, so I'm like, as we going through, I'm gonna take them by their hand and walk them through them and show them, so then they can open up the door for the next person in, because it's all about putting people in a position to win. That's who I am.
One thing about the music industry is everybody that's doing music has zero clue about the actual business. And for those of them that actually know about the business, 9 times out of 10, they are the worst artists out there.
Yeah.
And they know so much that they usually just run their mouth more than they do anything else.
Absolutely.
So it totally takes away from their actual talent, if they have any. All right, music business industry, you're building it up, you losing more than you're winning.
Yeah.
When do you say, okay, let me go ahead and try this with the business number 2?
So when I did with the nonprofit, right, I was like, that's my calling because I want to put people in a position where they can have a better quality of life, because that's what it's about. Progressing and having a better quality of life. And so I knew what I went through when I came home. So I end up speaking with the attorneys, getting the attorneys to collab with me on expunging records. But right before we did that, my colleague Dolly and we were Royce Bell's manager from Wildin' Out. When we seen how that played out, where he didn't want to change his material to do stand up because that's a different beast. That's when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna help people another way. And then we went into doing the expungements, getting people gainful employment, and we had a lot of success. We got 3 murders expunged and 1 sealed. And what's crazy is we like one of the first ones to do it in Illinois, for the rack at least, because when we got it done, people didn't even believe it. It was people that was showing up to the expungement clinics like with attitudes like, man, we've been through this, man. Nothing ever happen, man. I told them, I say, look, bro, if this don't go through, you can hold me responsible and accountable. I'm telling you, I ain't gonna even lie to you, bro. And when we got that man murder sealed and his UUW expunged, man, that brother is doing federal contracts right now that he couldn't do at first, and he show up to every expungement clinic that we have on his own without me calling him, and to let other people know, like, hey, take this serious, this for real. They really do the work.
So you got 2 types of black people that I always say, okay?
Yeah.
And when it comes to situations like this, you got the one that's either for to blow up the spot and tell them exactly how you ain't shit and nothing worked, or they are extra hypey because everything worked for them. And when it works, when I say they are going to be your biggest cheerleaders, they're your biggest cheerleaders. But lo and behold, if the shit don't work, I'm sorry, but we the biggest haters in the world.
Definitely.
So understand that I super kudos for that. So you now have a non-for-profit. You're getting people's felonies expunged. Okay. Now, even for someone like me that hits home, because we all know statistical numbers, 50% of the black community, black men specifically, at some point in time end up locked up or with some sort of misdemeanor to felony. Okay? So, one, very lucrative business because, well, we already know the system is helping to make sure that you never run out of clients. But 2, this is one of those situations where when the world truly finds out and they see the difference that it makes and the fact that it can actually be done, your phone may ring off the hook for forever. At what point in time did you sit down and just go, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is how we going to do it. Let me start talking to lawyers. This is the route I want to go.
So that point came in when I was coordinating. Me and Dolly was coordinating the social equity program for the cannabis industry. And for those that don't know, social equity is individuals that come from a disproportionate community, which is the hood. And if you've been shot, been to jail for cannabis, you was eligible for a free license to own get a dispensary license, which is called a retail, a cultivation license where they grow it, or a craft grow license, or a transportation license. Now, the difference between the craft grow and a cultivation license is square footage. Cultivation is 210,000 square feet, equivalent of 10 football fields. Craft grow license, you only get 14 and a half thousand square feet to grow. Transportation, where you going picking it up from the cultivation and you distributing it through to all the dispensaries that you have contracts with. So Dolly and I were the ones that helped those new licensee holders get the resources that they were lacking. If they, far as needing banking, need the bankers, we brought the bankers in. We brought the CPAs in, certified public accountants. We brought in, if you needed the product, we brought the owners of the cultivation in where you can get the product. We did mostly everything that they needed and brought in the attorneys. And so at that point, I'm like, okay, that's normally what I was doing on the street. I would connect people with what they was lacking, in order to get money and have a better life. And so that's like my calling. And that's when I was like, yeah, I'm gonna bring these lawyers in because that's gonna be a huge asset to be able to get people records cleared in order for them to get gainful employment, and then also when you go for loans and that type of stuff, they like
They look at your record.
they look at your record, and it's like employment. Employment look at your credit score. They didn't used to do that for you to get gainful employment, but now they look at your credit score. They look at your background. Oh, and that was a blessing for me when I was getting them denial emails. I gave that to the attorney. He showed that to the judge. I was that showing proof that I'm being held back because of my record, which allowed the judge to expunge it.
Oh yeah, because I don't think a lot of guys really understand that. All right, you can have the credit because they're really looking at the debt to income ratio, right? You can have the good job because now they're showing that you actually have the income. But let's say that neighborhood has a HOA, and it has nothing to do with being on the offenders list. The fact that you are a felon and that HOA doesn't want any riffraff because let's say you had a robbery. Let's say you had a burglary. Let's say you had a drug charge. Guess what? You potentially could be bringing that to the neighborhood. So because of that, all of a sudden, you are disqualified from renting that house and or apartment because they don't know who you are. And are you really done? Have you been rehabilitated? And they may see it's 20, 25 years ago. They still hold it against you like it happened yesterday.
That's true. That happened to me. I applied for this townhome, and I was wondering. I'm like, man, they said they'll get back at me at such time. Man, I called the guy. He checked. He was like, oh yeah, you were denied. And I was like, man, is there a reason why I was denied? Can y'all tell me? And he was saying that it's in the email and in the document paperwork or whatever. And what's crazy is that's one of the biggest things is housing. They already had cut the funding for housing, and then on top of that, even if you, like you said, you got good credit, you got a good job, whatever, and you go to apply for the application to get the place, they still going off of your background, which is discrimination. It's a form of discrimination.
It's a major form of discrimination. But it's one of those forms of discrimination that at the end of the day, for most of us, we're never even going to know that it's being used against us because they don't let you know.
Yeah.
Um, it's horrible. It sucks, right?
Yeah.
So what you're actually doing is allowing people not only to be able to have a job where they get to make a livelihood, but they have a home where they also get to create their livelihood, because a lot of us do get out and do the right things.
Yeah.
So like when I got locked up and I went to prison, I didn't have any children. Now I have children. Okay. So the roof isn't just to be over my head. The roof is over my kids' head. So if I can't provide for my own family, which in a system where they already tell you you got to take care of them financially, even if they're not under your roof and everything else, they basically robbing you left and right. Yeah. But now they don't want to eat. They also are robbing you from the chance to even do the right thing, which helps promote and push people to go back into the streets.
Exactly.
So I understand that. I feel that. Again, super kudos in doing that. Now, in the process of doing that, obviously we heard of a third business where you also doing cannabis. So tell us about that.
So I came into the cannabis space. I actually, when I went to go get my record expunged, they had another table set up saying, hey, if you want to get into the cannabis industry, you can sign up right here. I say, man, but I got a record. You know, they say that don't matter. It's for the war on drugs. It's due to the record. So I signed up for it, Dolly and I, and we got a call that they was doing a free class that someone has sponsored so they can do a free class for individuals that come from disproportionate communities. So we went. It was on a Saturday, on the weekend. We went. We got certified. And once we got certified as responsible vendor providers. Then the guy that, who company it was that was doing the certifications, he gave us his card, and I called him, because I seen that he had other young minorities that was there that were actually instructing the class and was giving out the information. Then, he came at the end and told us his story, and his story was compelling. How he went from living in the alley, eating out the garbage can, literally, to becoming a millionaire as a minority of African American. So I called him, and I'm like, man, this is somebody who I want to get next to because I can learn something from him. So I called him and I said, hey, can I come, talk to him for a little bit, say, hey, can I come work for you? I'll volunteer and work for free because, I'm trying to better my life, and I want to be an entrepreneur, and I relate to your story. So he told me, hey, come to my office on this such time and day, and I did, and we talked, we chopped it up, and I said, man, I'll volunteer. I wouldn't do anything to do it right. I took the chance of doing everything wrong. I can't lose trying to do everything right. So he said, you know what? I won't let you work for free. So he say, how does $20 an hour sound? I say, man, that sounds great to me. He say, okay, I want you to start in February. And this was January. Man, I was going there. It was an office job. I'm sitting at the desk. I'm making calls and sending out emails. That's what I was getting paid to do. I was working 8 hours a day. Then he seen that I'm a quick learner, so he was showing me how to set the projector screen up and everything. And then I became an instructor. I went from an account executive to an account manager / instructor. So I was teaching, so I learned everything I had to learn about the cannabis industry, because now I'm the one that's certifying people. I'm instructing the class on how. So I gotta have the information so I can tell them how to move from one phase to the other. And they go from what you call an agent in charge. Here in Arizona, they call it an FA card. In Illinois, you're an agent in charge, which is nothing but a supervisor. And then you can move from there with the certification to a regional director, which they at between 40 and $75 an hour. And so, and it was just about giving them the information, saying, hey, just because you got a record, that's not going to stop you. Just because, you've been to jail for drugs, that's not going to stop you. You actually get your record expunged for free if it's cannabis.
So in the meantime of doing that, like, does anybody know that you already are in the process of getting people's records expunged already?
No, people had no idea.
So it's just crazy how all that works. Like, it all worked together. Yeah. So you're getting education on something that you already are doing, just differently.
Yeah.
So when I say, ladies and gentlemen, when God worked, I got a sound for that. I don't even know if this motherfucker go play right now. Let's go. Is he gonna do it? Yeah, there we go. Oh shit. All right, so fast forward. We are now August 2025. Okay. What are you doing right now? What's working? What's not working? What are your plans?
So right now, Dolly and I are working on Sewell Point and the Bet on Me Foundation, which is up under the umbrella of Sewell Point. And also, still, we're doing the certifications for the cannabis industry because we have our own cannabis business called the SC Community, where we do certifications, and we certified in 24 states. And cannabis, recreational and medical, is legal in 24 states. So it's required by the state, a prerequisite, that you get the certification from us in order to work in any part of the dispensary. Now, Sewell Point, our plans is to expand the Bet on Me Foundation, which is our sports development program, and also to bring parents and their children back together that may have lost their children due to the war on drugs and incarceration. So the mission is to bring the family back together as one instead of dividing the father and the mother. Because when you have a separate, divided household, the house can't stand on its own. So you got the father over here and the mother over there. It was meant for the child to have the best of both worlds. Not saying just because they separate that they can't have the best of both worlds, but 98% of the men that our fathers are in prison. They've been taken away from their child, and it's left for the mother to raise that child. And it's even harder if they're a boy, because I'm not gonna say a woman can't raise a man.
She can. Oh, it's hard for a woman to teach a man how to be a man.
Exactly.
And for the women that I praise all women that are raising sons, because it's a hard job.
It is.
But unfortunately, for the most case, you're usually raising that man to be the man that you don't have in the house, which is not the man that other women really want.
Yeah.
And because not unfortunately, because it's very fortunate. Thank God that women are emotional. But when you raise a man in an emotional home, he also becomes emotional. And an emotional man, unfortunately, does a lot of damage, especially to women.
Absolutely. And so the plans are to expand Sewell Point, which we have been doing. We've been doing holding expungement clinics in Arizona, Tucson, Phoenix. We've been having success there. We even got individuals back their gun rights. You know, that had once upon a time lost their gun rights, and they was told that they couldn't even get their record expunged and that it wasn't even possible. We had one guy that I spoke with, like he was calling and he was like, "Man, is this for real or is this just a photo op or a data collection?" Because all the ones I went to, they ain't do nothing for me, and we had to make him into a believer. And right now, he follow us on Instagram on all pages, Sewell Point, including my personal page, Dolly's personal page, the Bet on Me Foundation. He broke down in tears because he had been trying to get his record cleared for the longest. We've been clearing records in Florida. We've been doing it there. So you know, our plan is to go global because it's a hood everywhere. So we coming to a hood near you, and we coming to help to lead the people.
Well, we had this conversation the other night. All mine is in Missouri. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting you all of my information. I have no problem letting the world. Well, everybody already knows I ain't got shit to hide. Okay. I want to see this working firsthand. Not just for the purpose of seeing it work firsthand, but also for the purpose that, yeah, walking through life as a 3-time felon is not easy. Makes some certain roads very, very, very hard, especially as a business owner, especially knowing certain ventures that I would love to get into, but I can't even touch it. You can't even touch it because the felonies themselves stop that. So I'm looking forward to see how Sewell Point is able to assist me. Yeah. I will say this: I started doing it when y'all. I don't sleep, so when y'all left, I started. Arizona don't expunge. Missouri doesn't expunge. It's either pardon or you just stuck with it. Yeah. So let's see if you can make history.
Okay.
Because it seems like they don't like to let nobody go. There's a slogan: come on vacation, leave on probation.
Wow.
That is the slogan for Missouri.
Yeah, we definitely gonna get it done. The thing is because it's still part of Illinois, and they have statutes from the that they have to follow, like. And by individuals, male or female, not knowing this, they tell you, like you ever heard the term, people can tell you anything?
Yep.
Well, that's what they do because no one challenges it. And with that, what we do is we educate them on, like, hey, you can get your record expunged, but if it don't get expunged, you can get it sealed. And then this is what you need. You need your rap sheet. You get your rap sheet. The attorney gonna look over your rap sheet to see everything that can get expunged, what can get sealed. Then they put you in for your court dates, and then they filed a motion for you to get your record expunged and sealed. However, you have to get a judge a reason to let you go, because that's what the judge told me. He said everybody want me to let them go, or they want to get off house arrest early, but you gotta give me a reason to what you're doing. So what you have to do is create that track record to show that you being a productive citizen and you really trying to make change, and this one barrier in your life is hindering you from moving further and preventing you from having the quality of life. So we give you those instructions, and then we walk you through, from the beginning all the way to the end. And then if you need help with employment, then we hook you up with our workforce development, because that's what Sewell Point do. Sewell Point do everything from feeding people, the homeless, to housing, to the workforce development.
Well, I'm here to assist any way that I possibly can. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. All the way around the board. So the same conversation we just had 36 hours ago with Dolly and her foundation, the same thing applies here. Yeah. And then I'm going to say this again. For those of you that are watching this podcast that I know are definitely tuned in or will tune in at some point in time, don't be afraid. Y'all motherfuckers better get involved, because I know a lot of y'all's pockets is very deep. Okay? I know a lot of you have a lot of pull. I know a lot of you that are involved into a lot of different things that would help make a difference. So, this is my call out. Now, you're currently living where?
I'm currently living in Tucson.
Okay. But you're traveling everywhere or moving everywhere to make these things happen, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, is this something where you are trying to build this out, make it something hit all 50 states? Is this something where you're trying to build this out to make it something that, you know, you just gonna hit hood after hood after hood until you conquer just hoods?
No, so, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No.
So we're gonna do all 50 states, because this is not just a Chirac problem, Arizona problem, Missouri problem. This is everywhere, especially if you are a person of color.
So here's another thing. I have a brother.
Mm-hmm.
Two brothers, actually. One's locked up as we speak. Okay. In Missouri, felonies. Okay. I have my other brother, not blood related, but related. When I tell you when I did time, he was 17, I was 21. I made sure he stayed on the up and up, but I also made sure that, you know how it is in there, because when you're young, they come at you.
Mm-hmm.
I made sure they stayed out of him. Okay? He's here in Arizona. He definitely needs the help. I got friends in Texas. I got friends in LA. I got friends, Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, New York, North Carolina, Atlanta. I don't know. I got a lot of people. I got a huge. Y'all might be busy.
Oh yeah, we looking forward for it. That's what I'm living for, because you got to understand, these individuals that were incarcerated, they are either a father or a mother, or a grandmother or a grandfather. You know, some people, everybody don't stay the same. People do change, and there's room for a second chance, and that's why Sewell Point campaign is say yes. And where I come up with that is that say yes is they always say no to drugs, say no to this, say no to that, but what have they given you to say yes to? And so that's what Sewell Point is about, is to give you something to say yes to. Change their mindset, because it's within, not without. People always look outward and not inward. It's in you, not on you.
And I got a good friend out of Illinois. Mm-hmm. His name is Corey. The world knows him as CJ on 32s. He has some felonies. I'm gonna see if I can get y'all into contact with each other.
Oh, we're gonna definitely get that taken care of.
Because that would be a big one. I know he'll be happy as hell.
Yeah, listen, the attorneys had so much success with us, right? I have the emails, the letter, the proof. They contact me, ask me for permission to use my name and the nonprofit's name for their interview and to get their grants.
Now, also in this process of what you're doing, how many cases are you finding that people were actually found guilty or pled out to something that they really wasn't guilty of?
Ooh, it was like 3 of them, right? 23. My fault. 23. It was 23 of those cases, right? And actually, we just got him the majority of his cases that they said he couldn't get expunged. They got expunged. He sent me the letter. He sent his testimony and everything. He actually, right now, I put him in tune with the attorney that's fighting this case right now for the murder. He did time for it that he did not even do. And the witness recant their statement and everything. And when he went with a public defender, a public pretender, they said they couldn't do nothing about it. But now this attorney that's rocking with us, that's actually doing his case, he's actually looking at everything and saying that he got a chance, and it's a super strong possibility that he about to get a lawsuit. And he did 15 years straight off of something that he didn't even do.
I see in situations like, that's a
So, and let me remind you, they got him on a murder registry. So, they started a murder registry, which is even more dangerous because say I'm not condoning what they did, but they made a bad decision and they changed their life. Now you on that register, they had their information on there, where they live, who they live with. Now you putting, because 9 times out of 10, a person that's being released from prison is going to live with a family member, a brother, a sister. It's got to be immediate family.
Yeah, or house arrest, or when you initially, if you either need a family member or you're going to a halfway house.
Exactly. So in this case, they putting other people in jeopardy, in danger. So now guess what that do? That leads to a revolving door to coming back, because are you going to protect the kids that's in that house? And risk of going back because you protecting, maybe you got kids that are there, So it's like it's a trap. That's all that it is. It's a trap to come back because you're a cattle. We're cattle. They get paid. It went from $50,000 to now it's at $100,000 per individual. So in Illinois, the prisons hold. It was only supposed to hold one house. Prison house only supposed to hold like 1,000 or 15 the max. They house 3,000 people in one building, right? And they have maybe 9 or 10 of those. And there's 3,000 people in each one of those buildings with 4 wings, with 4 tiers.
Well,
So
here's the crazy part about the system, and I saw this while I was in there, and I've called it out, and I'll continue to call it out. No juvenile record, no issues, no problems. It was my first time down. They pretty much maxed me out regardless. Why? Because they knew I wasn't coming back. Mm-hmm. As the entire time I'm sitting here watching other dudes get a case, come in, go out, catch another new case, come back in, go right back out, because they're getting paid every single time this person comes back in. And when you see it and you understand, and the thing about it is, I've been business minded. I went to college for business. When you see it, you can literally dictate, okay, this is going to be a return customer, a.k.a. returning felon.
yeah.
Okay, he going to rack it up. He going to come back. You can hit him in the head as many times as you want to. Yeah. This is just who he is.
Yeah.
You see that happening. But when they know you're not coming back, that's who's literally being sat down. Or when you have no evidence whatsoever that this person did it, but they railroaded you, they also sit them down too. Yeah. So the two people that truly are filling most prisons are railroads and, well, it's the first time. He ain't coming back. We going to get every bit of time out of this one because this is really what is keeping us going.
Man, you are definitely, we are twins. Because you hit it dead on the head. I swear. Listen, the child molesters, child pornography, all of them were getting good time.
Slap on the wrist.
I couldn't get a piece of good time.
Manslaughter, drunk drivers, slap on the wrist. I ain't gonna lie. Even to this day, I say it all the time. Boy, but if I'll go back for anything, I'm gonna make sure it's something close to manslaughter because you don't do no time.
Man. And you know what? It's a messed up way to look at it, but that's true. The world moved backwards. It worked backwards. It's the totally opposite.
And this is a system that is supposed to make people better.
Supposedly, that's why it's called corrections, but it ain't nothing correcting about it.
See, I'll give it to you. You obviously Illinois does something different. So while I was locked up, I was in college. I didn't finish college, obviously. Mm-hmm. I wanted to finish college while I was locked up. Yeah. No, Missouri was not going for that shit. Okay, the fact that I came in already with diploma and GED and credits for college and wanting to go to college, they stopped that shit every second they could. But they want to be on the head of everybody else that that didn't have a GED and didn't want one. They all over them and they gonna find them and they gonna do this and they gonna do that. It's like, if y'all are so big on education and you want everybody to get educated so much, how come you stopping this from happening? What's wrong with this play? So, yeah, to see it and the fact that they allowed you to do it, again, kudos to Illinois.
Gratitude.
I definitely did time in the wrong motherfucking state.
Yeah, we had University of Illinois there. I was in University of Illinois doing in robotics, things I ain't never thought I'd be doing or that I could do. And that's another thing, fear. Fear is one of the main things that hold people back. And because people don't have the know-how.
I wish that people really understood that fear is made up in your head. Mm-hmm. You make up so much more shit in your head to make something bigger than what it is than what reality really is. Yeah. All fear is made up in you're literally just repeating the worst of the worst situations to yourself over and over again. Because when you actually do it, you find out very quickly, like, there wasn't nothing to it but to do it. And there's nothing hurt you, nothing changed. Your life is gonna be amazing. You're perfectly fine. It's it's crazy. Like, the way life is set up, and the way society is set up, and how we really just stop ourselves from becoming bigger and better than what we could be, just because of the things that really other people just put in our head. Like, the fact that they gave us fear, because as kids we're fearless. You ride your bike, no training wheels, no hands, no nothing. But as you get older, like, how many people our age just jump on a bike and just take off? No, they scared. Yeah. What if I fall off? What if I do this? What if I do that? And it's not just that. It's about starting your own business. It's about going to school. It's about taking a new position at the job. It's about moving. It's about so many different things in life. And the crazy part about it is all you got to do is just do it.
Yeah. That's the key. And that's another one of the problems that I've seen, my experience of coming up in disproportionate communities. It's a mentality where we just sit around and just talk about what we want to do, what we're gonna do, and that's a good thing. But what's the curse about that good thing is that some of them never get started.
I came up with a saying a long time ago: trying leads to failure, doing leads to success. Mm-hmm. Okay? People like, that don't make no sense. Yes, it does. Because here's the thing. If you try and you fail, you still did something. Yep. Okay? Trying leads to failure. Doing leads to success. Mm-hmm. If you try and you fail, you did something. When you do something and you fail, you learn how to do it correctly or incorrectly. Regardless, you learn something. So you're going to become a successful person. Every business, which is why I tell so many people, oh, I'm going to be an entrepreneur and I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be this. And I look at them, I go, look at the statistics. Most of them fail. So be ready for failure. But just because you fail doesn't mean anything. Get your ass back up and do it again. Yeah. Learn from your mistakes. Yeah. Learn from your mistakes. Don't go and try to redo the exact same thing all over again, because that is the epitome of just stupidity. Yeah. That is the epitome of also, what's the word they use? You basically crazy, where you just...
yeah, it's insane.
Insanity. Okay? It's crazy. It's crazy, but a lot of people do. That's their existence. They live that. They don't understand. The only person that is holding you back is you.
Absolutely.
And that's why the clothes I'm wearing today is my clothing line. I ain't tell nobody what the hell I was doing. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. I registered the business. I did everything. I came up with the designs. I sat there in Photoshop. Even now, middle of the night, I just sit here and just design stuff. And one day, it ends up on the internet. Sometimes you just got to take, at some point in time, you have to just bet on yourself. So, again, kudos to you and Dolly.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Because you are both, one, the fact that you guys found each other and was put in the same room, or whatever happened in life, you were aligned in order to be on the same page to get to where you're at today, to where you can do it together, because that is partnership, a real partnership, somebody that's there, somebody that believes in what you're doing and pushing you, and you believe in what they're doing and you can push them. Yeah. That shit don't happen. That's very, very, very rare. So the fact that you got that is that's a Don DeMarco.
Dom DeMarco.
Man, that's that other part that I was missing, because I'm an executor, and she more the structure person. You know, the structure. So when you have, believe it or not, when you have structure, right, that leads to more of a divine path for you to go where you need to, because there are no distractions.
Well, and the best part about structure is sometimes you can have the best idea in the world, but if you have no plan to execute, it don't mean shit.
Man, definitely don't.
So I've said this plenty of times, and especially in the world of navigating and dating, etc., is literally like, fucking with me is not like fucking with anybody else. You got to understand. Like, I hold you to a standard. Like, I don't need, but I would prefer for you to at least take some interest and want to be a part of the things that I'm putting together, have already actually put together. Yes. Right? The initial flyer that I did for her and the way she posted and all the shit she posted in there, I said, damn, I ain't never did that shit. That shit just look and sound professional as fuck. I thought I was doing some shit, but damn, that shit just got better.
Damn, Virgo.
If every man just had a woman that could come in and do that, because that's really what they do. It's, you are meant to be a helpmate. Yeah. So when you come in and you can take what he has and make it better, oh Lord Jesus, you are a blessing.
Yeah, definitely. She's definitely a blessing.
So this is where we bring you both back together, and we talk about, well, now y'all's journey, because now we've heard her journey, we've heard your journey. They have to hear you guys' journey together, right? And then honestly, at the end of all of this, we just got to keep pushing, so that the world knows who the fuck y'all are. And then honestly, that's on you.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to it. Cause that man, when they hear this journey, trust me, it look easy. It definitely wasn't easy. Definitely, like, man, we wanted to bite each other heads all types. Cause I can see some things. Cause from being in the streets, you could tell. Cause in Iraq, we taught how to read body language, so we know it in the door. Or if they say something, we can tell off their wordplay where they going with it, what they own. It's crazy.
That's just the hood, period. I'm from Inglewood, California, okay? And then it's not even just about an Inglewood thing, especially being locked up. Like, I don't go to clubs. I stay as far away from clubs as possible because the thing about it is, while I'm in there, I can't enjoy myself. I see these motherfuckers arguing all the way on the other side of the room. Which one of them might actually be serious and have something on that they ain't supposed to? I see these people over here drunk as hell, okay? I need to know where my girl is, where my brother is, where my cousin. I need to know where everybody is at all pointed times because it's just naturally me. I've always just been the protector. I've always been security, as they call me. Mm-hmm. So if I see something happening, I'm automatically like, let's go. And then like, oh, shit, this nigga tripping. Now we got to go. There's about to be something to happen. And never fails. It's always the cousin, whether it's the female cousin or the girlfriend. I want to see what's happening. No, you don't. We leaving.
Man, can I tell
you know how many times this place gets shot up?
Man, look, we was in the Chirac. We riding. I gotta tell you this real quick. We riding. A car run into the brick wall at the liquor store. Run into the liquor store brick wall. I like, oh man, let's pull over and help him. I said, hell no, you better not. I swear to God, when we left and looked, the other car was pulling up as we was pulling off and jumped out and was shooting, finishing the job. But come to find out, the people that ran into the liquor store wall stole the people's car that was shooting at them.
But that's the thing, is like, as men and women, we grow up in two totally different worlds. Yeah. We know what actual danger is. They are always on the outside looking at what danger is. And the thing about it is, when we feel danger, like, there's a different feeling that we get. Yeah. Whereas either we got to get as far away as possible or it's about to go down. Yeah. They don't understand that. If a motherfucker run into a brick wall, oh, I want to watch and see what's going on. Hell no. Okay? We don't know if they finna just ring out shots. The last chick that I was actually involved in, I said, I can't fuck with you no more. Why? Because this is the thing. We could be out in public and I say duck because I hear gunshots. You gonna be the one that's gonna be like, why? Where is it at? Where is it? Boom, dead. Okay? I'm sorry. You are a casualty.
Exactly.
You are a casualty. If I say duck, just duck. You'll find out why after the fact. You're going to find out like everybody else find out. So it is crazy. But what people don't understand is these little things trickle over into business. It trickles over it into just every aspect of your life. And again, I can't. She came here. What's today? Friday? Okay, so y'all were here on Wednesday. Okay. Great interview. Great everything. That's when I met you. We have a conversation. And I think it was probably within 5 minutes, like, oh shit, you sound exactly like I do. And the whole conversation, we literally walked the exact same path, just in different places. Yeah. Right? And then we doing pretty much the same thing, just in different ways. Yeah. Last year, Willie North Pole told me I need to start a non-for-profit. Here's the thing. I understand this shit takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of time. And I feel spread, I won't say thin, but I do a lot. And my biggest thing is where as I'm getting older, I really just want to like make sure my kids are straight. Yeah. And if I keep continuing to put myself into these different projects, and I'm a workaholic as is, I will work. I'm probably gonna be in my motherfucking casket with a laptop. Okay. Emails is gonna be sent, flyers is gonna be made, a podcast is gonna happen, like cars will be sold, a contract for a new home or Airbnb or flip, something gonna be signed. And I thought this nigga was dead. Yeah, well, his body died, but his soul is in there working like a motherfucker. Okay, so my thing is, I'd rather, again, help somebody else get to their ultimate goal while I still also continue to get to my goal, because I've always said this. In about 10 years from now, one day, I want to call you up. I want to call Dolly up. I want to call my brothers up. I want to call up the partners that I got up, and I go, all right, so this is what we doing. We going to meet up in Dubai. I already got 3-4 billionaires. They ready to go. We finna come together with what we got. They going to come with what they got. This is what we doing. And everybody's ready.
Yeah.
Because we've all already put in the work, built up our businesses, built up the portfolio, built up the bank accounts, built up the net worth, and just built up ourselves as a whole to where everything just falls in place. And guess what? We can just do it.
Absolutely.
And for me, that's the ultimate goal in life. And people be thinking, he coming at me like for this, or he's gonna do this, or he's gonna do that. No, nigga, I want you to succeed. That's it. Just fucking stop talking about it and do it.
Yeah.
Put the shit in place. Actually make it happen. Let's go.
And that's a goal of mine too, where we can show people, the world, that we can work together. Because for some reason, it's always our own people that want to be the crab in the bucket, in the barrel, because it's a lot of pride and egos made to fly. Me, I don't care who's sitting at the head of the table. As long as I'm there and I got a chance to contribute to what we have, I'm actually cool. I'm good with that, because that's not going to stop me from providing for the people that I love and that love me.
That's why I will say, when there's a table, it's going to be a round table.
Yeah.
Because there should be no such thing. See, I don't need to be the smartest person in the room. I don't need to be the leader of the pack.
Yeah.
I need everybody to just pull their own weight.
Exactly.
I lead as is already. So to think that I need to create a whole nother process where I got to lead a whole nother group of motherfuckers? No, I need you to have the exact same ability or somewhere close to the exact same ability. So guess what? We don't have to work as hard, because we all do the same thing. We just do it differently. I need you to be smart in this department, and you need to be smart in that department, and you be smart in this department, and we all do different shit.
Yeah.
And when that happens, there's no stopping. And it's hard in our community more than anything to get niggas to not always want to be the team captain.
Yeah.
They want to be the biggest player, the biggest drug dealer, the biggest robber, the strongest, biggest fighting this ass nigga. And it's like,
it's the illusion. It's the
Yeah.
illusion that they falling for. And that's what I mean when you wake up out that deep sleep and be like, man, this don't make sense. Why the fuck am I doing this? And for me, it's all, again, I don't want to be the captain of the ship, whatever, however the case may be. I just want to be able to contribute and make sure that I'm focused on what I'm great at. You allow me to be great at what I'm great at. We going to eat. You great at what you're great at. That's why these shows, my mother told me, man, these movies let you know what they going to do before they do it, right? And that this about to happen. If you really think about it, right? They had you, they feed you this illusion that, yeah, it's only one boss, it's only this, and you the leader of the pack. If you're not great, and this and that. It's all false. It's false. You just have to focus on what you're great at. If y'all in a group, that's why you part of the group, because they seen something in you, and they know that you can help contribute to taking this group to the next level. And I don't think that people understand that, because they too focus on, oh, he passed me up, or he think he the boss, or she. Like, I don't even waste no time or energy focus on none of that. I focus on what the main goal is, what the mission. I align with the next person. Our mission and goal align together. That's all we know. We going to make this one play, and we all going the same way. It's like football. You gonna follow the play that the team laid down. You know what I'm saying? That the quarterback he leading, but that's where he great at. You got a linebacker. He's in a position where he's great at, and they play as a team. Like, people, it's right in front of your face. And that's another thing. People just don't pay attention. If you start paying attention more, you'll learn more. Like my uncle used to tell me, he say, man, if you'll shut the fuck up, man, and listen, you got 2 ears. He said, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Yep. That means if you listen as twice as much, you'll be great. And man, I took that and flew with it.
The quietest kid in the house usually turned out to be the smartest kid.
Yeah.
So, where can they find you at?
Again, you can find me at sewellpoint.org, especially if you need the resources and the help to get your record expunged, workforce development. And remember, we're not just in one state. You know, wherever you is, you can reach out to us. We have a slot in there where you can reach out to us. The info is in there. Also, we got a donate button on there. You want to donate, you're going to be able to help another individual, get to where they need to go. And then if you want to follow me on the social media, on Instagram, you can find me at Magnificent, MACNIFICENT _ JUAN _ DA _ God, GOD.
Well, I definitely got to say, I appreciate you showing up here tonight again. After this is a 2-hour drive number 3. Because you had to come here the first time, go home, and now you came here again. We gonna do this one more time. I know y'all got to get back to where y'all going to, and back to Illinois. So we will reconvene and put this together. In the meantime, in between time, communication will continue. I got information that I absolutely have to get to you, which I'm gonna get to y'all ASAP. I'm gonna keep pushing you guys 100%. So look forward to that happening. I'm all over social media. I stay all over social media. I'm constantly posting, even when I'm busy as hell at the car dealership. We make it happen. So I appreciate both of you guys again. Ladies and gentlemen, I definitely want to say thank y'all for tuning in. Again, make sure you check out all of their social medias, all of them. Add, subscribe, share, and get involved. And if you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and they trying to do the right thing and they need to have their record expunged, you already know who to contact. With that, I'm your man Bailey, a.k.a.